with you our next project. You will be creating this sewing project, this little mailbox envelope out of felt and needle thread and a button. Looks like this. It even opens up so you can put a little message inside. And I think that a fun thing to do after we finish our projects would be take them home. You can put them on any doorknob, because we're going to put a nice little loop there, and then people in your family can leave you a little message. So let's get started on our project. Here's a little preview of your color choices. So think about what color you'd like for your felt and your button. In a moment, you may go to the table to get all of these supplies. You need one piece of felt, one button, one ruler, one pair of scissors, a Ziploc bag, a Sharpie, and a ballpoint pen. Go ahead and pause the video now and go get those items. Normally when we're sewing, we're going to have a separate pattern, but in this case, for this project, we're going to go along and cut directly on our fabric as we go. We're going to start by cutting a strip off of the side of our fabric lengthways. About an inch is what you're going to cut off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line up my ruler and I'm just going to mark an inch. And I'm going to do that a few times. Go up a little bit higher. There's an inch. Up here, there's an inch. Okay, once I have a few points, then I can use my ruler as a straight edge. And I'm going to draw a line across all of those points so I have a nice straight line. Once you have that, you're ready to cut. Go ahead and cut right on the line here. And then you can set this strip of fabric to the side. Do not get rid of it because you need it later in the project. Okay, next we're going to take the larger portion of our felt, and again we're going to use our ruler, and we're going to look for the point of about 5 inches. It doesn't have to be exact, but about 5 inches up. I'm just going to place my finger here to mark that spot, and then I'm going to fold my fabric upward to meet about where my finger is. So it should look something like this. Okay, you can adjust it if you want your envelope to be a little bit smaller or a little bit bigger. Okay, but I like about here. So feel free to pause the video to make sure that your fabric looks just like this one. But it should look like you have one part overlapped and then you have some extra felt up here. It should be starting to look a little bit more like an envelope. Next, I need to find where the halfway point is, the very middle of my fabric. So for this, again, I'm not getting too exact here. I'm going to fold my fabric in half and then just use my finger. You can even kind of crease the felt. Use my finger to hold that spot. Okay, then I'll make it all nice and right again. You can even see the crease in the fabric with this felt since it's kind of stiff fabric, and I can see exactly where the middle is. And when I find that point, I'm going to make a very small dot. Next, you're going to take your ruler, and again, we're just using it as a straight edge right now, not really a measuring tool. I'm going to take my ruler from the top, that middle point, all the way to the corner where that fabric overlaps. So, from that middle point, I'm going to draw a line. You might have to go over it a couple times, especially if you have a darker piece of felt. Okay, but you can see that line there. And then I'm going to do the exact same thing again to the other side. I don't mind if you put your ruler on this side or this side, as long as you really take the time to make sure your ruler goes from this point, don't start drawing until you see that it goes from that middle point down to where the fabric meets. And then again, go ahead and mark your felt, and voila. To do before I go to the next step of sewing is I like to get an idea of what my product is going to look like. So if you fold over that triangle piece at the top and you place your button on top, and then you take that strip of fabric and you make a loop, you can get a little preview of what the final mailbox will look like, which is kind of fun before we start sewing.